everybody. Thanks for being here at Hairdresser Power on the Road. I'm here today with Geraldo Caton, the man, the myth, the legend. I always like to say that, but it's the reality is who you are, huh? Because you're right here, right now, and I love it.
I don't know about all that, but thank you so much.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
And we're in Hollywood. Tell us where we are.
Okay, so we're at Main Details in Salon Republic on Sunset and Ivor.
So you're here in your own suite, huh?
I actually have a partner.
Oh,
her name is
wonderful.
Galena. She's the suite owner.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, and she has. I have the pleasure of working right next to her.
This is great. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. Thanks all to her, really.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. So today we're here to talk to you about what you're doing on Instagram and what you're doing as far as trends. So first things first is, how did you get into the business? How long have you been in the business? Give us a little overview of your career.
Okay, so I've been doing hair, I would say licensed for about 2.5 years.
Wow, so you're newbie kind of.
Yeah, I'm really fresh and young.
Awesome. A
lot would say. But the strangest thing, once I started getting into hair, it literally became my whole world. I stopped going out. I stopped really communicating with my friends a little bit.
Wow.
But
you nerded out on us.
Yeah, I literally nerded out. So I got my education out in Vegas at a Aveda school. Okay. And then I went through a few salons there. Didn't necessarily find anything that I loved in particular. And then I got an opportunity out in LA, in Encino. And this literally happened like over a weekend. So I got an interview on Friday. I interned the next day. And then she was like, okay, I want you to work for me. Like, just come on over. Make it happen. And it was the scariest thing because I literally got my license in California like a few months before. And then, yeah, so it just kind of all worked out.
So you jumped right in the fire and got going.
Yeah, I just, after that, I just started getting into it. So I assisted this lady for a while. It went great. And then I'm here now.
Yeah, and it's going well for you, huh?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Great. Well, we want to get right into it. I want to talk about your Instagram and some of the looks you've done. So I guess you have your phone handy.
Yes, I do.
And we'll pull that up and then we'll let the folks see and we'll talk about what you've done. So let's look at your first picture here and then we'll show the folks. This is the on-the-road version. So this is kind of interesting. We're actually going to just show this and then it'll come up on the screen for you and we'll discuss it. So what do you have first?
Alrighty. So I have... Oh, we can show this.
This is beautiful. Yeah. See, so go ahead and show the folks. Put it out that way. So what do we have here? Okay,
so this is a lovely Jasmine. I kind of like to record a lot of what happens before, so...
oh, yeah.
As we can kind of see, she can...
Yeah, the video. We have the video here for you, too.
Okay. So she hasn't done her hair, I would say, since September. She was just in last week. Yeah, we were looking for something a little more low maintenance. She has a little bit of a breakage, so we wanted something super, super easy to transition her to. A lot more lower maintenance. So she's from San Francisco right now, so she travels a lot, back and forth, so I can see her ever so often. But we ended up giving her a look like this. Literally what I did, pretty tricky, but what I ended up doing is baby lighting her and working off pivoting sections, and really concentrating a lot of that brightness towards the front. And then if you can see in the video, we kind of... everything that's not in a foil, we ended up using a teasing technique and coloring on the tease in order to help diffuse that harsh line of demarcation.
That's beautiful. And then what was the final look?
Now we can go with this one.
So you cut it all off?
Yeah, we ended up cutting a lot off.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no point of hanging on to hair if that's going to fall off.
Okay, good. There you go.
Yeah, we came up with this look.
So that looks good. And that what post, now how did you shoot that? Was there any particular thing? Did you use your ring light or what did you do?
No, I do have a ring light, but... I find it a little difficult to work with for some reason. So I love working with outside lighting. Okay. And there's this beautiful white wall with that nice little strip.
Looks great.
In the middle. Yeah, I feel like everything the light bounces off the concrete and just really hits my clients in the right place.
That was a nice look. That's really trendy too. So what do you have next for us?
Alrighty. We can show you this one.
Okay, show the folks.
All right, so she's a returning client. I've seen her several times. Again, a lot of my girls like slightly low maintenance look, but they love to be blonde. And she was going to Coachella, I believe. So we kind of created a cool festival look. Yeah. Yeah, it's really just melting 3 colors in there.
Yeah, your blues and a little bit of silver blue, and it looks fantastic. Yeah.
And again, using a pretty similar technique that I've used in the previous client. But just adding those little pops of ribbons, if you will.
You bleached her out, or she was already pre-bleached, one of your blondes?
Well, I balayaged her, foilaged her.
Okay. Okay.
And then I dried her, and then I applied my Vivid colors on her.
It looks beautiful.
Thank
Right
you.
on. Well, let's check out the next one.
We can do this one.
Ooh, nice. Show everybody that one.
There's a lovely rosy blush tone
Yeah.
that I did on Desiree, and using as well a pretty similar technique. For her, I actually didn't shadow root her because she's again a returning Oliver blonde. She came to me Oliver blonde.
Okay.
And then we and then we wanted something a little more low maintenance because it was being a little too harsh on her from other stylists, of course. Using a similar technique, keeping that brightness towards the front, but we wanted that slight definition in there.
Yeah, I think that's great. That looks great.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
you focused around the front. They call that the money pieces a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes I do paint that on, but in this case, I've been really into foiling, which I think is kind of making its comeback.
So are you up with a little bit of heavy foiling?
Lately, I have been into foiling. Yeah, I feel like I've gotten a good grasp with my balayage. I love doing it, but foiling, I feel like I have slight bit more control.
Yeah, you do. You do. Yeah.
So I've been doing that, I think, nonstop for a while.
Wow, that's great. And so what's your theory on bleach? You go slow and low, or do you blow it out, or what do you like to do?
I would say I go slow and low.
Yeah.
So
I'd say that's a good word of advice. If you have a good bleach, it'll lift you up, and you don't need to damage there so much.
Yeah, I think that's in the long run, it'll give me the healthiest results. But in the chair, if I need to like speed something up, usually I don't work past 25 volume.
Okay.
Usually I'll just like up my or lower my ratio with the bleach.
Okay.
Just so I can get a quicker lift or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's usually how I generally like to work.
That sounds good. What do we have next?
Okay, let me see her.
Got a lot of stuff. It's hard to pick, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There's a nice one. Now that's something that's really commercial. Go ahead and show the folks. There you go. And that one is something you do every day. That's an everyday money maker. You know, people come in, they want to look beautiful. It's not as much maintenance as with the direct eyes.
Correct.
And this is something that you probably do a lot, right?
I do this a lot, and it's probably one of my favorite things to do. As much as I love to do vivid work, I would say 60% of my clientele is probably natural work. But the good thing is they can always transition into those pastelized or vivid work.
Yeah. And you know, now that we have some products that come out, you can do the toning shampoos and get a temporary look, which is really beautiful. And I don't know if you've been playing with that.
I have, yeah, and I've been loving them. I've prescribed them to a few of my clients. I like to say prescribed.
Sure, I love that. Yes.
But yeah, as far as this looks go, yeah, pretty similar effect.
Now, did you tone her out, permanent toner, or what? How did you tone her?
I use a demi-permanent on her.
Okay, great.
And more of a controlled warmth using, I believe, my formula. If we want to give out formulas, it's like I believe it was like a 9V with a 9G.
Okay.
Which I've been loving a lot.
Your oranges and things of that nature. Yeah.
Yes.
And is she an Asian lady? Is she Asian or Hispanic?
No, she's Salvadorian.
Okay, so she's more Hispanic. So she will pull a lot of orange.
Correct. Yeah, and she's had a lot of history in her hair, so it was
right
quite a color correction.
That's
but
beautiful.
It was fun. Thank you.
Great work. Let's check out one more.
Alrighty.
That's nice. So tell us about this project here.
Alrighty.
I love the cut, by the way.
Thank you. It's actually funny because she came to me for a cut, and I call her Rapunzel because this is what she started with.
Okay, let's show the folks there.
So her hair, super long, almost down to her waist.
Big change.
And you can see her cutting it off right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was just ready for a change. She was inspired a lot by Selena Gomez when she had, her short bob and everything. I'm kind of cutting it there, and then we kind of, during our consultation, I just had a vision on her. I was like, let's give you something super, super low maintenance, but just something to kind of help you glow a little bit, which is, I like to do a lot of that kind of work, just things that kind of reflect.
Okay.
And then if you can kind of take a look at this picture, a lot of the brightness is towards her end still, but you're not getting that ombre effect.
Right. It's very nice. Very
so it's a little more updated.
Did you use foil for that?
I did.
That look? Yeah, I can
actually
tell. It's more organized. It's a little less hand-painted look.
Yeah, thank you. The process of it looks a little crazy because things are back home. It's very crazy, but yeah, very, very, very diffused.
Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful
Thank
work.
you.
And then it looks like you have a wall back there that has like ivy on it or something that you're shooting. Like the plants in the background.
Yeah, again, this is actually right outside.
Right, yeah.
I think I just love that little courtyard. Everything like the light bounces off of everything very well. And I like things to look very natural
Yeah, it's
and
really
organic. So there's a nice big green wall over there.
I love it. It's
Thank you.
fantastic. So let's talk about trends. I mean, we had the looks. We see your work. It's fantastic. So what about trends? What do you see for women's trends coming up this summer? What are you feeling?
So I'm predicting so far, because I've been getting a little bit of those requests, a little more definition, if you will, like with highlights.
Okay.
So not necessarily chunky or
Okay.
anything like that, but I do, as far as dimension goes, they like to see that separation between the highlight and the low light, instead of everything being so like melted, if you will.
Not so blended.
Yeah.
So a little more defined.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I've been seeing a lot of that coming into my
Are you
chair.
going for multiple colors? Any kind of color trends? Any of the beiges? What are you looking at as far as fashion trends for the summer? What are you feeling?
I feel like natural is still in
Okay,
for a while.
I would agree about that.
Yeah, I don't see anyone going too crazy. I think pastels are kind of dying out a little bit.
Yeah.
As much as I love them,
Well, you know
but
what it is a lot of people do that on Instagram, which is gets you a lot of views, right? But it's not necessarily what they're doing in the salon.
correct.
Money.
Yeah, they're all fun. You know, those are probably my once a week client.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get a few of them.
It's great.
And I love to do them because it switches things up.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm still thinking organic and natural, easy maintenance.
Yeah.
It's still probably in, just with a little more definition.
I love it. And then as far as what about cuts? What are you going? Long, short, bangs? What are you feeling? What's coming back? What's in for you?
For cuts, I would say still, I think that lob is still in for some
It's
reason.
pretty in still.
Yeah, I'm still getting that request. People kind of grow it out for a little bit, and then they're still cutting it to that length.
Beachy, like the textured bob with the beachy waves is still pretty dang popular. I'd
Yeah,
say.
and I feel like all my clients want to be styled like that still.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it going anywhere as far as like maybe in the next year.
Right.
But it's a lovely look, so I'm not upset about it. Who doesn't like messy hair?
Oh, it's great. It's great
yeah.
for now. A lot of people are saying they're looking at more geometric cuts, getting back to the really tight geometric cuts. How about you? What do you feel about that?
I would say a few of my clients have been wanting a little more precision, if anything.
Okay.
So precise, blunt bobs, but still living in with that texture.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of within the layering.
Yes.
But,
So you're going with the precision cut, but putting in texture for movement.
Correct.
And it also gives it a lot of, when you do that, it gives the hair a lot of movement.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you love it. So what is your clientele? What is the age of your clientele? Do you have a pretty wide range?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty blessed. I get a lot of different clients. I would say between the ages of 20 to like 35.
Okay, so
a few kind of scattered.
Kind of a younger crowd.
Yeah, they're pretty young.
Right on.
But I'm noticing, as far as like I'm aging with them, it's pretty cool to see them. You know, I've had a few of my clients say, "Oh, I have like, I'm growing a few grays."
Right.
So then they're freaking out about it. But it's like, wow, like it's nice to transition with your clients as you kind of grow your clientele.
So, in your opinion, as far as just using of the internet and using of Facebook and using of mostly Instagram, I would say, what would you say as far as a marketing tool? What's kind of your number one tip for people to use that effectively?
As far as social media goes,
Yeah, and what's your favorite platform?
definitely Instagram, because
Okay.
I feel like 80% of my clientele is from Instagram.
Okay.
So definitely post everything that you want to see in your chair. So I post a lot of pastels and a lot of natural work, because that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's strange. I'll get a new client and they'll be like, "Oh, I saw this on your Instagram," and I'm like, "Okay, yes, like this is a work that I love to do."
Yes.
And then once I feel like I'm getting in a little bit of, if things are falling a little too much in a routine, I'm doing this back to back, I'll post something a little different. So like reds, I haven't been doing reds a very long time, but I was like, I want to do more reds, and so I made somebody red.
Yeah, I noticed
And
that. Yeah,
I've been getting more of that request in my chair.
Great.
So post what you want to see in your chair and the work that you want to do.
Okay, great. And then do you have a pre-interview process? Because obviously you don't know the individual, they haven't come in order to ensure that client's going to be like, a good client that's going to pay, and do you require a deposit, and how do you do that?
Okay. So I do require a deposit.
Okay.
It's a simple $50 deposit just to secure the appointment, and it's refundable. They get it back if they cancel within 3 days of the appointment. That's totally fine. It gives me a chance to rebook someone in there. But yeah, during my consultations, it's all through text message.
Okay.
So they'll text me like, hey, I want you to do my hair. Okay, awesome. What's your first name, last name? And then I get them to send me a picture of their current hair, front and back, in outside lighting, outside shaded lighting.
Got it.
And then 2 to 3 inspiration pictures.
Okay, of what their goals are. Hair goals.
Yeah, and I always ask for 2 to 3 because if it's just one, usually they saw they have beautiful like Hollywood waves or something, or they just like one thing in the picture. But when I get those 2 to 3 pictures, I get to kind of dissect them and see, okay, they all have similar tones or they all have a similar placement. So I'm able to really figure out exactly what they're liking without having to talk to them.
Well, this
directly.
is amazing because we've really transitioned in this industry to where it was all hands-on right there, right in front of you, where a guy like you is actually doing it via, phone, basically.
Yeah.
Via communication.
Yeah, and I think it's great for me personally because I'm slightly introverted. I don't do the talking. I don't go out scouting for clients or anything. So it's become really a great tool for me to get what I want in the chair. But I found another thing that works really great still to this day, I think, is word of mouth.
Yes.
I feel like that's been, I think that's been one of my best tools as well.
Well, when you do great work, people like to share, don't they?
Yeah, thank you. And I feel like your work should speak for itself.
Yes.
And, if I did your hair and they're like, oh my God, who did your hair?
Yeah.
Then, they can recommend me that way.
That's wonderful. Well, thanks so much. That's great advice, and thanks for having us in. We really appreciate your time, and, we'll hope to talk to you soon.
Awesome. Hope to have you guys soon.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.